but none did it in such a compressed period of time. The intensity of wins from Audi in these years is on a level that nobody else ever achieved. And we always tried to continue to improve, and we always found a way to improve.
In 2011, improvement came in the form of a new car, the Audi R18 TDI. Regulation changes by the ACO made downsizing their engine necessary.
We had to cut down from a 5.5-litre V10 to a 3.7 V6. Uli Beretsky, our engine guru, he came up with the best overall concept, not just for the engine, but for the whole car.
We make smaller engines, but we make not weaker engines. We just make engines which are more efficient, so they use the fuel better than the others did. But for a driver, they have no lack in performance.
To complement the smaller engine, the design team built a more balanced race car using Audi ultra-lightweight technology.
We needed a highly efficient car from aerodynamics to run fast on the straights and have even enough downforce in the corners. So the R18 is, after many years, the first closed car that we have developed for the 24-hour race.
It's nice to sit in terms of the buffeting, means that the head is more or less still. The air goes over you, and in that sense you feel a good sensation inside the car.
It definitely feels better to have a roof protecting your head.
We always try to be on the highest level of safety with our race cars possible. And when we took the decision to make a closed car, we have seen a chance to do a very special, strong monocoque out of one shell and not out of two shells, bonded together like all the others.
The unique one-piece design yielded a stronger yet lighter survival cell, one that will shelter drivers in case of an accident. The Audi engineers made the R18 safe, and if you ask the drivers, even slightly stylish.
To be in that car, you know, when you see pictures sometime and you see, wow, I am the guy who's driving that car, that's cool.
Audi will field 3 nearly identical R18s for the 2011 race. 3 cars means 3 teams of drivers. The race's defending champions will pilot car number 1. Timo Bernhard, Romain Dumas, and Mike Rockenfeller. Before his win in 2010, Rockenfeller's history with the track was, well, rocky.
Devastation for the Audi team. Young Mike Rockenfeller has crashed the R10 heavily.
It took 3 years for Rocky to finally earn redemption.
When you stand on that podium, it's hard to describe, and yeah, I hope I will have it again.
It's a feeling that the drivers of the number 3 car are familiar with. They are practically a Le Mans all-star team. Dindo Capello, Tom Christensen, and Alan McNeish have 13 wins among them. Capello has been with Audi Sport since its first Le Mans. His extensive resume boasts 3 victories. McNeish, lightning quick and relentless, has won the race twice. Christensen has won the race 8 times, earning him the nickname Mr. Le Mans.
7 victories, a record 7 now becomes 8. Tom Christensen extends his record-winning run at Le Mans.
The number 2 car will be piloted by last year's second-place finishers. In only their second year together as an Audi team, Marcel Fassler, Benoit Trillier, and André Lotterer are quickly making their mark. Individually, they've won races all over the world, but this is Le Mans, and they have something to prove.
For sure the pressure is there, you know. Le Mans is one of the biggest races in the world, and really don't want to mess it up.
The drivers aren't the only ones in the crucible. An army of engineers and mechanics must be perfect in its own right.
In addition to the drivers, of course, look at the team behind each car. With the 3 car, with McNish, Dindo and Tom, you've got Howden. He has got all of the experience. And, of course, he's won the race before. The 2 other lead engineers, they are not as experienced in terms of leading a team.
I started with Audi in 2007 as an assistant engineer to Howden Haynes. Prior to meeting H, I'd never done anything at this level. I'd done analysis before, but on nothing like this kind of car.
I've treated Lena like an apprentice, you could say. You know, you want to bring people in, I would say bring young people in, but she's actually older than me. But, you know, you bring someone up from the beginning and sort of turn them into a race engineer that we feel we need, you know. We felt that she was ready to take on that role of lead engineer of her own car.
The decision to elevate Lena was ultimately made by Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich, the head of Audi Sport. Over the last 12 years, Dr. Ulrich has built a Le Mans dynasty. From the outside, he appears a stern figure, but his icy glare hides a deep passion for his racing team.
The general impression people get is of a very cold, regimented individual. He likes things to be precise. He's motivated to win without question. But on the other side of it is the sort of very much a human side of it. And he's very close with his drivers. He puts the arm round the shoulder when need be and gives the kick up the backside when need be as well.
We are a team that sticks very close together. Each one supports the others. And this is something that was building up through the years. I was pushing always very hard that we live motorsport like a family. And I think that's one of the small things that make it different to the most of the other teams.
I think when you're putting a team together, whether it be a soccer team, racing team, the key is the word team. It's got to fit together. The people have got to fit together. And in an event like Le Mans, you've got 3 drivers in one car. There is a knack there that Dr. Ulrich has. He can see something in the personalities of people more than necessarily the driving characteristics that he thinks, Alan will fit really well with Tom, but those two probably need a dindo just to balance it all out. And now, over the 3 cars, we've got probably the strongest driving combinations we've ever had. And the 3 cars work together, not just individually, but they actually work together for the greater good. But we do know that only one car can win. And we always want to be that one car to win.
For any of Audi's 3 cars to win at Le Mans, they will have to best an equal number of Peugeots. The French marque also has a new car, the 908, with a V8 diesel engine. Audi and Peugeot, for the first time in their rivalry, entered the 2011 season on equal footing. But only one of them was ready for the season's first race.
Peugeot tested that car at Sebring over 12 hours. The R18 wasn't ready for that test, and Peugeot came away from that bruised and battered, but I would have thought with a slight Gallic smile on their lips because the car performed so well. The R18's debut at Spa was the first time that we saw real competition.
Having seen what the new 908s could do at Sebring, it's critical that Audi get the R18 on the track under race conditions. Early in the race, though, Alan McNish's eagerness costs him.
With McNish, he's gone round. Oh, he's gone round already. Cold tyres, cold brakes, and now he's going to have to sit there and wait for the whole of the field to shoot past.
The problems multiplied, and the R18's maiden voyage was a disappointing one for the Audi team.
And he's just going to let the Peugeot go past because he's not at full racing speed. Drama then in the Audi camp.
In Spa, we had a car that showed quite some potential from the speed, but we didn't make several things run as they should run. It was just not a perfect weekend for us.
And that's a new rear end going on an Audi.
Spa was not a good race. Everything that could possibly go wrong had gone wrong.
2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go, and Marcel Fassler's brought the 2 car in. Splash and dash. Audi couldn't have got their calculations wrong, surely. Very, very strange indeed.
Partly down to preparation, partly down to a new car and teething troubles. It was very tough, though, very tough.
The first time we saw Audi and Peugeot go head-to-head, and very much a commanding victory from Peugeot. They've had the pace over Audi throughout the race, and the next time we'll see these cars will be at the famous Le Mans 24-hour race. And that pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Peugeot happy, Audi still slightly pensive.
Le Mans isn't just a race, it's a celebration of the sport. And at the Parade of Champions, the drivers are the featured guests. May be hard to believe, but the world's greatest endurance race is actually run, for the most part, on public roads. It's officially called the Circuit de la Sarthe. At 8.5 miles long, there's plenty of everything, including speed. Top speeds down the Mulsanne Straight are well over 200 miles an hour. Contrast that with the 50-mile-an-hour speed through the trickier curves.
When you go in the S Porsche, it's just crazy how quick it is. And the feeling you have in the car with the G's we take in the corners is just amazing. If you take a roller coaster, you know, when you just finish the roller coaster and then you say, okay, I want to do one more time. And here it's during 24 hours.
The race at Spa is cause for concern. The car showed promise, but promise alone won't win at Le Mans. And a battle with Peugeot looms.
In a racing environment, you really don't know how you match up to your competition until, let's say, the first qualifying session. That is where it kind of, the truth comes home, you know?
The truth is, the R18s were specifically engineered to endure 24 hours on this track. In the past, Audi hasn't been able to match Peugeot's outright speed during qualifying. It's an advantage they can't afford to concede. This year, more than ever, every second will be crucial. But misfortune strikes early when Romain Dumas comes upon an Aston Martin that has spun out at Arnage corner. An accident in qualifying is not unusual for Le Mans. Every driver wants to be the fastest. But a second shunt for Audi, this time with Tom Christensen behind the wheel, proves worrisome. Mixed with the disappointment of damaging two cars is the success of the number 2 car. For the first time in years, Audi is quicker than Peugeot in qualifying, and Benoit Trillier earns pole position.
Right, boys, I need to quickly talk to you. It was not intentional. I mean, a pole at Le Mans is brilliant, but it's not going to win you the race. But I still didn't know we had pole position until I noticed all the photographers with our drivers, and I thought, there's something going on here.
All the journalists were there, like pole position, we're like, wow. But it didn't feel like, okay, you know, we were gunning for it, and our main focus was for the big one, for the race.
Race day at Le Mans is like nothing else in motorsports.